And is Clint coming? Or are you? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Not that he would need to be here for the conversation, but he was here last time, so I wasn't sure if we need to. Okay. Are we good, Ida? All right. Thanks, folks, for joining again. This is our follow-up meeting on elected salaries, and kind of had a chance to get some feedback from electeds since our last meeting. And I understand that we'd like some more time just to look at this, chew on it. And I know, Ida, thank you for this new information. Do you want to walk us through what's in here? If you don't mind, not to put you on the spot.
Chair and board, something that electeds have looked at in the past years. I just added to the mix here is more information. So in the past years, we have looked at salary comparison of Sheridan County versus other Wyoming counties, how they're set up. So that gives you an idea where we are. And was a deciding factor in the past few years, trying to get our clerk, treasurer, assessor up. Compared to other officials in our county, we're doing much better than where we were. But this gives you an idea in comparison around the state. I just thought that might be a good tradition to continue to look at that as we move ahead. That's page 1. Page 2, I just wanted to provide the history of elected salaries. I thought this was also very informative. And as you start at the right-hand side of the page and come across, it's the one with the green bar at the bottom. It will list the resolution and the dates of that resolution. And so the first column shows you where we started in the end of December of 12. And the second column shows a 5% increase for that next 4-year resolution, another 5-year increase for that elected official resolution, and then the following 2 with none. And then the most recent one showing the 28.56% increase to make up for the 8 plus the 2 years of the prior one where there were no increases. So I just thought history, that's just a review with factual percentages there for you. And then did a list by pay location, the name of the description of the position, whether they're full-time or elected. So just comparing electeds to full-time county employees. We've done this before as well. And looked at that, especially in concern of elected officials need to stay ahead of county employee salaries and where we currently are.
So is that
go ahead.
In statute somewhere?
No, this is something that's been looked at, that the county electeds in statute are capped at 145,000 right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's a statutory cap.
Yep.
By legislative work for the elected officials, and knowing where we are currently, this is where we are all currently, and the concern that you had heard from the county attorney and the sheriff, the concern that county employees will start superseding them in salaries in the next possible 4 years. So this is something we've looked at even as a whole. And it has been the opinion of elected officials in the past that elected officials should not be underneath any county employee. So that's a position that has been presented before. But this just gives you that information to know where we are even compared. So it's just information as of for today.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear, it was purely opinion, not statute based. Okay.
Another thing I wanted to note is the job descriptions for county electeds are not an official job description. They are the Wyoming law. That is our job description. It changes every year. So every year, the elected official's job has to change with the legislative law changes. Retraining has to happen, all of that. And I think it is always a good reminder to look at what the legislative body is saying that the cap for elected officials should be, which is currently 145,000 for everybody, with the exception of the county attorney, who is now encouraged to follow the circuit court judge salaries. So I think it's something to keep in mind, that our statutory duties and our job descriptions are not based on resumes, they're not based on qualifications, they're based on duties. And those duties, the legislative body feel are worth $145,000 cap. Can every county get there? Of course not. But as you will see, Sheridan County's a long way from there. And I know a lot of counties are looking at that, trying to figure out how to get closer to what the job entails.
Great, thank you for that additional information. And I'll just remind folks too that Kenny had sent out an email with kind of similar pay rates by county, but based on different categories. So one's based on population. The ones that I thought were valuable were ranked on population and ranked by assessed value. I think that it's good information to kind of add. Because, you know, we're not in there with Sublette and Campbell counties with assessed value. So I didn't know, I did want to make sure and open it up just for additional discussion today. If folks had questions or, well, yeah, please, thank you.
In a minute, attorney, just going to this one that Ida gave you as far as salary comparison, Sheridan County versus other. As far as the county attorney section, which is in the middle, 5 of those counties, which are obviously below Sheridan County salary, are part-time, are county attorneys that can also have private practice. So those include Weston, Niobrara, Platte, Hawk Springs, and Goshen. They all.
So which one are you on? I'm sorry.
On the county attorney. Oh, on this one, it's Sheridan salary comparison, Sheridan County versus.
Okay, yep.
Yep. So it's kind of me just understanding 5 of those, and those attorneys do private practice as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not completely,
Yeah.
it's kind of apples, oranges, a little bit for some of those counties.
Yeah.
And as I had discussed, and I tried calling Levi a while ago and he wasn't available, so he probably didn't know. And I see Dr. Bird got here. They weren't part of, we wanted to, I think everybody wanted more time. I'm kind of separate and Levi's kind of separate. And I don't know if Levi wants more time because we didn't get to talk to him. But just with all these new numbers and everybody's coming up with new numbers, it was kind of, I think the consensus that everybody wanted to kind of sit down and look at all this information. And so that was, I think the consensus is at least especially for the 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, which were all the same. And Levi's, the sheriff's is position's a little different, mine is, and Dr. Bird's is. So whenever, I mean, I don't know if Levi or Dr. Bird are prepared to, so maybe they want to go ahead today. They weren't part of that.
Yeah.
And, but I think the idea was to have some more time.
Yeah.
But again, if anybody else is ready to go, or Dr. Bird's ready to go, or I'm ready to go, or Levi, I don't know. And we can.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I'm just happy for folks' thoughts and comments today if they have any, but just know we'll set another date to reconvene to chat about this. And it'll be after some deadlines that the assessor's office has. Yeah.
And we do have some legislative meetings coming up too, which will give us more information about what's some other interim topics.
And I, did clarify, it has to be done by June 1st, per statute. And I don't want to bump up that close, but I don't want to pressure anybody into early decisions either. I think initially the thought and the conversation the last time we did this was, well, would it move the needle for anybody thinking about running? And that would be, the second half of May. But I think if you're gonna run, you're gonna run. And I think we can give ourselves some more flexibility than that. I don't know if folks have any comments, but we can look at the calendar and maybe look at something. I don't know. And I was curious too, Coco, just not knowing when, if we were able to wait till, you don't have numbers till the end of May, right?
Yeah, well, that's when they're certified.
Okay.
June 1st, but once we get everything, all the exemptions applied, we should have some.
Okay, so anyway, I'll get with Coco and see when we might have a more targeted date to have at least be able to do a better gut check, so to speak.
And the reason why we met is just in the last meeting, information was coming in and it was just,
Yeah.
everybody came up here, didn't really know what to say. So I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah,
we got together yesterday and said, well, we should, you guys want numbers and nobody was giving them to you. I think I did, but everybody else, well, I guess Dr. Bird did, but.
well, that's why we wanted to set up a couple, but I get it. And we've got new information from Ida today too that we can digest. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I just have one
Yeah.
comment. We built a revenue committee last year, and maybe you are not aware of that, but it included the chairman, Lonnie Wright, and it included the assessor, the treasurer, and the clerk. And we worked really well together, and we were able to come up with a pretty good number within just a few thousand numbers before the deadline in May. So I'm organizing that revenue committee group again and invite you to join us.
Awesome.
But I know that with Paul coming back in to help Coco, that we don't have to wait till the end of May because I have to have those numbers for the requested budget. So we will have those for you before then, for the end of May. And we were very, very close last year within just a few $1,000s
Yeah.
of our estimate. And we actually do use the estimating revenue manual that WCCA provides, and that's already out in version 1. So we've got a start already there. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah.
And looking forward to working on that and looking at those revenues. So.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? I think the golf course is open, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Snowy.
Robert, but
Yeah.
speaking to this thing. I like the way you kind of organize this from the high end for salaries for the clerks
Thank
to the
you.
low end. And though on that, now I gave you that spreadsheet last time and you see those numbers on the side. Those are the number of cases that the count, that's just information for, might be helpful for you. Is it gives you the caseload, I call those counties and ask what their caseload was for 2025. So if you look on that spreadsheet.
I did see that.
um, And so I highlighted Sheridan County. And it'll show for 2025, we did 91 cases. Okay. And you'll see 59 NC. Those are non-corner calls, but we were involved in reviewing the cases either for vital records or some other reason. But, if you add those two together, we stay in the mix of what the rest of the state does. So I don't know if you're looking at the number of cases we do, we're kind of like in the middle or just a little above. And if you look at the lowest end salary, you can compare it with how many cases they're doing, like Weston County versus Fremont, Natrona, and Laramie County. But you expect those numbers to be high. Their caseloads are a lot higher.
Yeah.
That's just information I wanted to, so you because you have your column now, you can actually plug those numbers on the side and do a comparison,
Yeah,
just to see what, it's just a thought process.
yeah, no, that's great. And I was hoping just you and I in a separate meeting, not to bug everybody else, but because it looks like there's a lot of variation where deputies are at too. So some may have a higher caseload, but don't have, or higher in alignment, but don't have any deputies.
Yes,
And some have 6, but they don't get paid very much because they're all very part-time. So maybe you and I could sit down and just go over how that kind of falls out.
yeah, I mean, each county does a little differently.
Yeah.
That's the thing is Natrona's come up with a whole different system for their quarter office staffing and everything. But what they do is they pay I guess all their electors one figure straight across.
Mhm. Well, just, yeah, looking at Sweetwater, they have 137 cases. They have 1 deputy. They have 2 assistant deputies. One, it gets 500 a month and one gets 1,000 a month, which is significantly less than what we pay
Sure.
at 49,000, 28 and 33. So I'm just trying to figure out that balance.
Yeah, and it's hard because you see the variability with caseloads. If you added our non-corner calls with Campbell County, we're basically one-on-one, but Paul gets 115 grand. But
But their deputies only get 10,
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, like, what that give and take would need to look like,
yeah, I
or
don't,
any with your deputies.
I don't,
Yeah, just curious. We can get together.
sure.
Okay.
Sure, That's fine.
Okay.
I just threw that little part, since it was all columnized, you could just
Yeah.
you could actually plug those caseloads right next to them.
Okay, super helpful. Thank you. Did you have anything? Or want to wait? For our next meeting? What's your pleasure?
Yeah, I don't have anything unless, looking at everything, unless you have questions for me.
No, anybody have questions for Sheriff Dominguez?
No, I'll just,
Okay. Just know we'll be doing this one more time and
Yeah, no,
apologies.
like I said,
for the extra meeting.
Levi Dominguez, Sheridan County, I don't have anything to add other than what I had mentioned the last meeting, so unless you have any questions, and so.
No. Okay. All right, well, I will get with Coco and I guess this revenue committee that we're forming and get a good date on the calendar when hopefully we might know some more. Did you want to add anything, Renee? No. Are you good? Okay. If that sounds good. Any questions, comments? All right. I appreciate everybody coming back. And I didn't have a chance to get this canceled before we started having comments about needing more time. So we had to get together today. Harry, thanks for joining us, Joseph. We'll let you know when we're meeting again. So with that, we are adjourned at 2:18.